Which MVC book is helpful to read? Whether you want to read it for yourself or maybe you want to give a book to someone in the hopes that they might fall in love with MVC as well. This series is super helpful for you because I'm going to read all those books for you and I will tell you whether it's worthwhile to spend your cash on them. This time I'm reading Nonviolent Communication, A Language of Life by the founder of MVC himself, Marshall Rosenberg. When people tell me they've read the book, they mean this one. It's sold over 1 million times worldwide and it's been translated in over 30 languages. On the plus side, I consider this a very solid general introduction to NVC. If you're looking for NVC in general, to apply it to your life in general, then this is very helpful. It is clear. There are exercises about the theory in each chapter. There are also fully written out dialogue, so you can really see how NVC is being done in practice. A second plus of the book, something I really love, is that it contains really nice stories from Marshall. Marshall is really a storyteller. So for example, there's this story about when Marshall goes to this refugee camp in Israel, and there's one of the people in the audience that calls him a murderer. And then he starts to listen empathically to this person. At the end, the guy that called him a murderer invites him to his house. And so these stories, I found them very moving. They're very memorable, so you're really inclined to share them with other people. I heard people also criticizing his stories because they were too romanticized or something. I don't care, I just like them. So then for the downsides, I noticed that there's a bit of lack of applicability in this book. When you just start to learn MVC, you'll probably be scared to try it out, but there's nothing about how to deal with that. And if you're just starting out doing MVC, you'll probably run into people, having resistance, or that will always be the case, I guess. And what do you do with that? So what I noticed is that a lot of also the examples that Marshall is using are from the training room. So there he is as a very, experienced trainer with people that are very willing to learn MVC. And that's not always the real life situation, right? Also the exercises are never about your own examples. They just test you on the theory and they don't encourage you to try it out in real life. A second downside is that this book teaches you a lot about empathy, but it doesn't really teach you about how to be more honest, which I consider, the other important ingredient for MVC. So if you're naturally kind of very empathic and easily go to listening rather than expressing yourself, I feel there's something missing in this book, and I'm actually missing this from a lot of NVC sources, so it's not really something specific to this book, but it's just something that I've made my mission basically, so that's why I notice it when it's not there. And the last downside for me is that the style is kind of formal. Just to give you an example, I will read a sentence. As NVC replaces our old patterns of defending, withdrawing, or attacking in the face of judgment and criticism, we come to perceive ourselves and others, as well as our intentions and relationships, in a new light. I guess you get what I mean. This is a little, this is not how we usually speak. And I love it when a book, when it gives this sense as though the author is talking to you. And he doesn't address the reader as you. So it feels a little distant and formal to me. So all in all, I would say this is a really worthwhile book, a solid start of your NVC journey. And next time I will talk about a book that is a little bit more practical, might be interesting for you as well. In the meanwhile, I would love to hear what you think yourself of this book. Maybe you read it already. Let me know if you agree with my opinion or maybe you think completely differently about it. Also, let me know if you have other books about MVC that you love. Maybe I will review some of them, or maybe this post can just become a really great inspiration for other people about what more to read. And please share this video with anyone you know that enjoys MVC or that maybe is kind of curious about it, so we can just spread MVC more and more. So see you next time. Ciao. Clear examples, the exercises.